Expedition 33 is a brand new RPG that looks like someone took Nier Automata, Persona, and a bottle of distilled depression, mixed it all together and said, time to traumatize. But before you drop your hard-earned cash on it, let's take a closer look at what it actually does well, what might catch you off guard, and whether it's worth jumping into on day one. So Expedition 33 is a story-driven, stylish RPG. It's turn-based at its core, but with a twist that makes it way more interactive than your typical menu clicker. It's got a mysterious story, flashy combat, and some seriously gorgeous visuals. Combat is where Expedition 33 really shines, and it's not your grandpa's turn-based system. Sure, you and the enemy take turns, but the game constantly keeps you engaged with timed button presses and action elements. Icelands? For example, whenever you launch an attack or special skill, you'll get a quick on-screen prompt to hit a button with perfect timing to power it up. Nail the timing and your move gets extra damage or bonus effects, miss it, and well, your attack is just like your everyday life. Okay. It's a little bit quick time eventy, reminiscent of the past 15 years. It's that kind of idea, but wrapped in a modern, flashy, and impactful package. The whole combat UI has a stylish vibe that gives off a little bit of Persona-like flair and some Final Fantasy-style flash. Now the best part is, it feels skill-based. You're not just mashing attack and watching numbers fly, you're actively involved in every bit. But it's not just the attack phase that's interactive, defense is too. When enemies take their turn, you don't just put the controller down and watch. Expedition 33 lets you respond in real time by either dodging or parrying incoming attack if your timing is on point. A well-timed dodge has a relatively generous window and will let you evade an attack entirely, which is pretty forgiving. Parrying, on the other hand, is the riskier move. The window to parry is tighter, but if you pull it off, you not only avoid damage, but also dish out a massive counterattack that can chunk off a huge portion of the enemy's health. And pulling off a parry in this game honestly feels so satisfying. Like, you know that rush when you perfectly parry in a Souls-like game? It's a little bit like that, and you feel like a boss whenever it happens. Parry, motherfucker! There we go. Oh, that's satisfying. Of course, if your timing is off and you whiff the dodge or parry, you are gonna eat shit and it will hurt. So there's this constant tension of, do I play it safe or go for the big ass counter? And I personally love that. It keeps every battle exciting and a little bit different depending on your skills. And another cool aspect of combat is what happens before you even start a fight. Enemies wander around in the world, and if you run up and hit them first, you actually get a preemptive strike advantage when the battle begins.
They're between us and my end.
It's a nice little incentive to be proactive and not just wait to get jumped. Once you're in battle, besides your normal attacks and skills, some characters have a free aim ability like Gustav. Basically, you can manually aim a ranged attack, like a gun or a spell, at specific targets or weak points. It's almost like a mini shooting gallery in the middle of a turn-based fight, which is both clever and fun. Bam, bam. Little strategic decisions like that make the combat feel more dynamic and hands-on than the typical JRPG. When playing the demo, I found myself actually looking forward to fights because they're this engaging mix of strategy and timing, rather than feeling like routine turn-based grinds. If you're someone who usually finds turn-based combat too slow or passive, Expedition 33 might surprise you with how involved you are in every moment. It's like the game took cues from action RPGs but somehow kept the strategic, slower pace of a turn-based system. A pretty neat combo if you ask me.
En garde!
Now let's talk visuals because dang, this game is a looker. Expedition 33 has a beautiful art style. It's inspired by Belle Epoque France, but infused with wild fantasy elements. The result is a world that often looks like a living painting. You'll be moving through vibrant landscapes filled with lush colors, dramatic lighting, and some really surreal scenery. One minute you're in a haunting alien forest with glowing flora, the next you might find yourself on what looks like the bottom of the ocean floor, except it's on dry land with fish and coral floating around you in mid-air. It gave me slight Nier vibes in terms of sheer imaginative weirdness, like you step back and go, whoa. The game is consistently stylish and detailed. Every new area kind of begs you to stop and gawk for a bit. But there's one thing about the graphics that I need to warn you about. Motion blur. Yeah, that dreaded blur effect when you move the camera, Expedition 33 has it in spades, and it is persistent. And turning it off in the settings did nothing, at least in the preview build. So, the game is drop dead gorgeous if you can see it clearly. The motion blur is so intense at times that it can make everything look smeared when you're running around. If you're someone who's sensitive to motion blur or just hates the look, this is something to be aware of. With any luck though, the developers will tone it down or give a proper option to disable it by launch. As of now though, it's a common gripe from others who have played it. I'm really hoping they address it because the rest of the visual presentation is insanely stunning. Because aside from the blur, the game's performance seems solid and the art direction is on point. So yeah, visually it's a treat, just one that might make your eyes a little angry until the blur is fixed. So consider yourself warned. Now, let's talk audio, because it's another strong point here. Sound effects are crisp and satisfying, every attack lands with real impact and you can feel the weight of combat. There's also great atmospheric design, ambient noises, battle music, and eerie soundscapes all help sell the world. But the voice acting is legitimately excellent. Characters are well performed, emotional, and memorable, and it makes cutscenes way more engaging.
Everyone knows the protocol.
Right, but they may have been in danger. Maybe this location has been compromised. Things change in the field.
There's a reason.
Protocol doesn't cover every contingency. You know that.
There's a reason. It's protocol.
It's the kind of voice work that makes you actually want to hear every line rather than skipping through dialogue. So yeah, great audio across the board. And story-wise, this setup is really cool. Without spoiling anything, the world is dying, there's a big mysterious entity called the Paintress, and people are marked for death whenever she paints a new number on her chalkboard, which corresponds to their age, hence the expedition. You will swap between controlling several unlucky 33-year-olds and one 16-year-old called Mael, and you're basically on a last-ditch mission to stop the Paintress and break the cycle. It's dramatic, it's character-driven, and it's packed with weird lore that you'll probably spend half of the game trying to untangle, so FromSoft fans, rejoice. The tone is dark, but there's a lot of emotion and human moments in there too. The characters aren't just anime tropes with swords, they've got actual personalities, and I'm all about that. Exploration though, that's where I've got a few concerns. The world is beautiful, but in terms of level design, it leans a bit on the hallway side. You've got clear paths, some branching side areas, loot, maybe a hidden monster or chest here and there, but it's not open world. I'm hoping later zones will open up more, but if you're someone who really values exploration, this might feel a little restrictive. As of now though, I haven't played the full game, so it's hard to say, but it is a little bit of a concern of mine. That said, the combat and the story do a lot of the heavy lifting, and that's what I'm primarily here for myself. So, what's the verdict? Well, Expedition 33 is shaping up to be a really solid, stylish RPG with a strong narrative and a surprisingly fun combat system. It's gorgeous, it sounds great, the characters are interesting, and the world is genuinely unique. My biggest concerns are the motion blur, seriously, please fix that, and whether exploration will hold up in the long run. But everything else, honestly, promising. But that's going to be it for now. If you got any thoughts, questions, or wild theories about this game, drop them below. And as always, have a great day. Mr. Olten, signing off.